welcome everybody to another episode of Cyber Bites on the Back Porch with Dan, the cyber guy from Cyber Eye. All right, tonight we're going to be talking about cyber insurance. So cyber insurance is the wild, wild west of the insurance policies. So it's relatively young, and all the carriers do it differently. Some carriers have 3 different policies to cover what another carrier does with just one policy. So you always have to look, but it's very confusing, right? So today I'm going to tell you the 7 things that I look for when looking for cyber insurance. All right, number 1. All right, so this is I would say the most important one, right? So the difference between having what I call real cyber insurance and getting stuck with whatever you get with the business owner policy as an inexpensive endorsement. So the first thing you're going to need, the biggest thing that you'll want, is a 24/7 number to call in case of a breach, right? And this is not a number that will say, oh, okay, I understand, send us your receipts when you're done, right? This is the number to call that says, okay, here is a number for a coach. Here is a number for a forensic investigation company. They step you through it each step of the way. You're not hanging out on your own, which is absolutely horrible. And I've talked to people who have had to live through that. So number 1, look for a 24/7 number that will take you through what you need to do. All right, number 2, very important. Coaching and forensics should be covered. So coaching is the cyber breach coach is someone that steps you through and tells you what you need to do, who you need to call, how to set up credit card monitoring, what to do with the forensic evidence once you get it, what the notification requirements are if you're in the healthcare services, things like that, right? So that's the coach, and that's definitely what you want, worth the money and worth getting the coverage for it. So look for coaching, and then forensics. Now, forensic investigation, people sort of poo-poo it. No, I'll just skip that and just do whatever I need to do to get where I'm going. That is a horrible attitude, right? So I have 2 things to tell you about that. Number 1, if you ever get a ransomware attack, make sure, number 1, do not turn off the computer. Unhook it from the network, turn off the Wi-Fi, whatever. But then the forensic investigator can go into the memory and possibly get your key for you without having to pay the ransom. Number 2, this happened. One of a medium-large company had a ransomware attack. So they paid the ransom, moved on. 2-3 weeks later, they got the ransomware attack again. They never cleaned up their mess after the ransomware attack. So that was key. So coaching and forensics, number 2, very important. Number 3, breach notification and identity monitoring. Now this is key for anybody in the healthcare industry. So if you're a doctor, dentist, optometrist, anything to do, PT, anything to do with healthcare, there are regulations that you have to follow and notifications, right? So you'll need breach notification, you'll need identity or credit card monitoring and things like that. So remember, that's key. Make sure your insurance policy covers breach notification and identity monitoring. Next, social engineering. I really like this one because it happens way more than you would ever imagine. It covers wire transfer fraud and things like that, or any other things that the hackers can deceive you into giving them money by accident. Now, when you're looking at social engineering, watch out for people who say it's urgent, it's urgent. My boss never says it's urgent. Go and get me credit cards for the company. So the Christmas gift card thing is very popular now, so be on the lookout. But anyway, as far as insurance goes, look at covering insurance that covers social engineering, wire transfer fraud, things like that. Next, 5, the ransom payment or extortion. Make sure it's covered. Now, a lot of times you'll see this covered in your business owner policy endorsement, and it'll cover up to $10,000. Now, $10,000 doesn't get you very far these days in the ransomware industry. So ransomware, last year we had 2 local that had ransomware of in the ballpark of $200,000. Right? Some people say no way, but that's really, they go from anywhere from 15 to 30,000 to, the big boys get 40 million the other day. But make sure you get enough ransomware protection to cover you. Like I said, the business owner policy endorsement, not going to cover it. All right, number 6, business income and extra expenses. Now, if you're shut down due to a ransomware attack or some other kind of cyber breach that goes on and you have to shut everything down, this will cover your business income during that period, or whatever extra expenses you have to incur during that time period. Now, when you're doing this, check the hours after the incident of when you're covered, right? So the industry standard is about 12 hours. You can get 6, you can get 8, you can get 18 or 24, and that'll make a difference in the premiums that you pay. But it also makes a difference in the payouts that you receive if you can get a 6-hour versus a 12-hour. So keep that in mind when you're shopping. And number 7, breach liability. Now, breach liability is the third party, is when a third party, like a client or a business partner, where they've been exposed, you've exposed their data, and they sue you, right? So business liability covers all your legal obligations, right? So this defense, legal defense expenses, fines and penalties if you're being regulated by the government or like the PCI, credit card industry, and any kind of compensatory damages. That's pretty much it. Let's go over those 7 again. Number 1, 24/7 phone number to call when you get breached, and not just to say good luck, but to help you through it. Number 2, coaching and forensics services, critical for breach, cyber breach protection. Number 3, breach notification and identity monitoring services. Got to do it, especially if you're in the healthcare industry. Number 4, social engineering. Make sure it's covered. This is rampant. It happens a lot more than you know. Number 5, make sure you have coverage for ransom payment. Make sure the payment is big enough to cover your ransom. Number 6, business income. This keeps you going in case the cyber incident shuts you down for a week or 2 or 3, as the case may be. And last but not least, breach liability insurance in case somebody sues you because you've exposed their data. And that's it. So I didn't cover everything there, but those are the 7 that I think are critical to have and to look at. Some others are public relations. If a breach comes and ruins your reputation, they will help. Public relations will help you build that back up. And electronic restoration is very common in almost every policy. So that's it. Check with your insurance agent. If you don't have one, or if you need an expert in cybersecurity insurance, check with Stickler Web Insurance. That's sticklerweb.com for the best cyber insurance agent out there. All right. Thank you and have a good day. This is Goodbye from the Back Porch, Cyber Bites.